Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. I'm your host Mikey. Today is the Crochet Dino Egg Rug. Now this is using 2 strands at the exact same time of Bernat Blanket yarn. I will be using Bernat Blanket Brights in this. Carrot orange will be this the egg color, and I haven't figured out what the dots are going to be yet. So we're going to be double stranding the main egg itself, so that means that it's going to be double the thickness that of Bernat Blanket. It's going to be a thick bad boy. And this has a very unusual start. When Crochet got a hold of me, I didn't understand it myself, so I had to figure that out. So we're going to be demonstrating how this gets started because of the shaping of this, and I'm going to assume it's starting down here, it could be up here, but because it's starting out so flat like this, we have to do something right in the first few rows in order to make that happen. For the egg itself, the main egg, not the dots, it's using a 10mm size NP crochet hook. And then for the dots, we're going to reduce down to an 8mm size L crochet hook. We're going to begin. Let's just get right into it and let's follow this thing through. I do not think this will take very long because we're double stranding. So once you do that, it's going to grow really quickly. Let's begin. My first recommendation to you is that we're going to have to use and create an extra chain, and with that you can't use the stuff that you're working with. You have to use 2 other strands. So what I would recommend to you is just grab 2 balls that we're going to use for the main color, and then open up the other 2 balls, and you'll just use a bit of that at the very beginning of this project because you're going to use the 4 balls anyway in order to make this. So get that ready, and we're going to start then with the larger hook, a 10mm size NP, 2 strands of Bernat Blanket Brights. So double stranding means that you got 2 strands. I got 2 different yarn balls off camera that you can't see. Now you should know that when you double strand, it's sometimes harder on the hands. So if you're finding that it's fatiguing your hands, that's a big word today, that's not unusual. And you want to make sure that there's no pressure coming from the ball in order to make it a little bit easier for you. So you're going to treat the 2 strands like it's 1 strand. And just make sure that when you go to wrap, you're always grabbing around the 2 strands. So you're going to start off with the larger hook, as I mentioned, and you're going to chain 14. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So we have this. It is pretty thick, and we're going to begin row number 1. And at the end of this row, what I'm going to have you do is to mark the right side of the work. So just grab a spare piece of yarn. You may have that lying around your house, or a stitch marker. Grab that, and we'll know what the right side is in the future. Let's begin row number 1. Row number 1, you're going to go second chain from the hook. So just, it's 2 strands, but just pretend you're looking at 1. So there's the first chain, second. Grab the back hump of the second chain, and you were going to single crochet then across. So we got 1, and actually we don't need to count, just single crochet across your chain all the way to the end, and meet me back here in just a moment. I'm now at the end of the row. The stitch counts are provided to you on the pattern. See the video description, you'll see a link. And I want you to grab that spare piece of yarn or a stitch marker, and without turning your work first, just slip it behind some stitch work and just loop it. So whenever you see this, this means that you're on the right side of the work. So if you don't see it, you're on the wrong side. Now, before we are going to turn, we are just going to pull up a loop, and we need to grab the other spare yarn that we have on the side, and we're going to be coming to here, and we're going to be making up some stitch work that is missing for row number 2. So with 2 strands, you're going to create a slip knot, and you may think this is ridiculous, but the bottom is so rounded that you can't just increase your stitches without it being misshaped. So once the slip knot is on, I need you to chain 2, and I need you to grab this. This has not been turned, and we are going to then connect it to the first stitch with a slip stitch. And so what you've done now is you're extending this across. Okay, so we're now going to cut this yarn. We'll weave it in later. And so when we come back across this, going the other way, we get to go longer across because we're doing what we're doing. And we've done this kind of concept before on alphabet pillows. Okay, so just make sure it's connected. So when you come across, you're going to go across this chain work as well. So before you turn, we need to chain a total of 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work now. In second chain from the hook, you are going to put 2 single crochets into the second chain. This will help it to grow. So we got 1 and 2. And you know that you did 2 chains on this add-on, so you got this next chain to work with. And then you're going to be jumping to the main body of the egg right here. So I want you to single crochet, and then when we get to the chain work on the other side, I'll show you what to do there. I'll be right back in a moment. So I'm still on the main body of the egg. We still have 2 chains that were added on, so I'm doing the last one of the main body, and we're going to just jump right to the chain work, and we can secure these loose ends in later. If you want to bring them out towards you because you're currently looking at the wrong side of the work, then you'll secure that on the back of the egg. Okay, so now you're going to come into your first chain. There's only 2. Do 1 single crochet in that one. And then the last chain, you were going to put 2 single crochets in there. So the count has upgraded now from 13 single crochets, and this row would have caused it to be 19. So you can count that if you wish. You can get the stitch counts on the pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So verify that because you've added the extra chain work, and you're going to turn your work now and begin row number 3. So it's going to get much simpler from this moment forward. If you want to weave in your ends, you're more than welcome to do so as well. Let's move to number 3. Row number 3, you're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. And you're going to go 2 single crochet second chain from the hook. So we're building it out again. When you go around this on the last round, it's going to round it off like the picture. So second chain from the hook, you're going to put in 2 single crochet. And then you got another one here because you chain 3 if you recall. So you're going to just do 1 in that one. And now you're moving to the main body of the egg. Okay, so you're going to zip along, and I'll see you close to the other side in a moment. So I'm coming along, and the very last stitch of this row will have 2 single crochets in it, and that allowing it to grow. So the last one's got 2 singles. Okay, and then you're going to turn and do row number 4. Back to the pattern we go. It says the 4th to the 9th rows, we're going to just chain 1, 2 single crochet in the first stitch, and then 1 single in each, and then there's 2 singles into the last. You were going to do this many times. So what I do off camera is that I write 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I'm just going to circle those as I do it. So I want you to complete up to the 9th row, and you will have 37 single crochet by the time you get there. So I will demonstrate it once, and then you will do the remaining of that to the end of number 9 on your own. So rows number 4 all the way through 9 is the same thing. So just chain up 1 and place in 2 single crochet into the first one, and then zip along and do your single crochet right to the end, and I will see you on the end of the row in a moment. The last stitch, this is the second last one, and the very last stitch, place in 2 single crochet. So that was row number 4. So when you turn, just chain 1, 2 singles into the first, 1 single into every one of them, and then 2 into the last. Please complete up to row number 9 and check it off on your list as you go. And I'll see you at the end of row number 9 in a moment. So I finished to the end of number 9. So now number 10, we're not going to grow it at all. We're just going to chain up 1 and apply 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way to the end. And what I want you to do is to do that, and I'll be back with a set of instruction to give you a new type of repeat then to keep growing your egg. I'll be right back at the end of row number 10. So I finished off row number 10. So what we need to do now, rows number 11 through 20 is a repeat of 9 and 10. So 9 is the 2 single crochet at the beginning of the row and 2 single crochet at the end of the row into the same stitch to have the increase. In row number 10, there's no increase, it's just 1 single crochet in each stitch. So it says to repeat rows number 9 and 10 5 more times. So what I did here is I wrote 9, 10, 9, 10, total of 5 times. I put INC, short for increase, is number 9. And so as I pass by them, I'm just going to check it off on my list. Okay, so please now do number 11 through 20, repeating 9 and 10 5 times, and I'll see you at the beginning of row number 21 next. So I've now just finished to the end of the 20th row. So now we have to do 21 to 32 just as the 10th row, and that's just 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way across. So chain 1, 1 single. So what I've done off camera here is that I've done 21 all the way to 32. This is the main section of your egg right here. So this is as wide as it's going to go. So please do now rows number 21 all the way to through 32, and at the end of number 32 is where I'll pick you up, and we're going to start doing the decrease nice and gradually going back towards the top of the egg. I'll be back in a moment. So I just finished row number 32. Number 33, we're going to chain 1 and put the first 2 stitches together, so single crochet 2 together, 1 single crochet in each of the stitches, and the last 2 single crochets will come together with a single crochet 2 together. So we're now going to start from here, and we're going to start doing a reduction for a certain amount of time. So let's begin to do that. Let's do row number 33. You're going to chain 1, and the first 2 stitches will come together as 1. So just going into the top of the first stitch, yarn over, pull through. Next stitch, in, yarn over, pull through. So you should see 3 loops, pull through all 3, and that's a 2 together single crochet. So you've just made 2 stitches into 1. So now you're just going to go across your row, and the last 2 stitches will come together with a 2 together single crochet. And I'll be back in just a moment. So I'm coming all the way to the end. So the last 2 here, so I got 1 more to go before I do that, is going to come together as a 2 together single crochet. So going into the second last stitch, pull through, come into your last stitch, pull through, and pull through all 3. So now you've just eliminated out a stitch. So let's turn our work and do rows number 34, 35, and 36. So I need you to do 34, 35, and 36 is just one chain 1 and just 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way to the end, and then turn your work, chain 1, 1 single crochet all the way to the end, and then turn your work 1 more time and chain 1 and single crochet all the way. So three rows are no reduction, and it's just going to start naturally curving on its own. So please do rows number 34, 35, and 36. I'll be back in a moment. So I'm back. Because the playmat is so large, I can't really show it easily on camera, so that's why I'm talking to you about the instruction. I'm physically doing it that you cannot see, and so that I understand the pattern as I'm going. So what we need to do is we need to look back now. 37 to 48 is a repeat of 33 to 36. That's a total of 4 rows. So 33 is a decrease row, and the other 3 are just the regular single crochet across. So what I've done here that you can see, we have to repeat that 3 times. So 33, 34, 35, and 36. I've written it 3 times. The first time of 33 is a decrease. So what I need you to do is complete those number of rows. Here's the thing though, I would tell you that because you are starting to reduce on there, every time you get a reduction, you're eliminating 2 stitches. So this thing will get faster as you do it. So what I'm going to do is that I'll meet you up at the end of row number 48. So please do rows number 33 through 36, a total of 3 more times, and check it off on your list as you go. And I'll be back in a moment. Moving along in our pattern, We're now going to do rows number 49 and 50. 49, we're going to do a single crochet 2 together in the first 2 stitches, single crochet across, and then the last 2 stitches will become single crochet 2 together. Then row number 50, we're going to just chain up 1 and 1 single crochet across. So let's do those 2 rows next, and then we're going to have a repeat of those 2 rows after that. So do 49 of a decrease and 50 just straight across. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Are you still with me? How are you doing on your project? You can leave me a comment if you feel like it. So what we're going to do is we're going to repeat then 49 and 50 7 more times. So this will take you to the end of the 64th row. So we're doing 51 to 64 by repeating the 49th, which is a decrease row, and the 50th, which is just a straight across row. So what I've done, as you can see, I've written that 7 times, 49, 50, and I just circle the first 49 as a decrease. And so I will do all of that. So it's a total of 14 rows in order to do that. So please do rows number 49 and 50, a total of 7 times. And I will be back and I'll see you at row number 65 in a moment. Okay, I've just finished up to there, and now I got 65, 67 and 68, and that's a single crochet 2 together. So all 3 rows, we're near the top of this thing, as you can probably tell, and so you'll be doing the next 3 rows, 65, 67, 68, a decrease row. So I'll meet you at the beginning of number 67 in a moment, which is the final row. So I'm now here at the end of number 68. So 67 is our last one. Now, if your counts are not accurate, who cares, right? You're just going to be going up over top of the egg anyway. So if you're off by 1 or 2, big deal. And if the baby knows how to count at that age, never mind. So we're going to then slip stitch in the first 2. So slip stitch in the first 2. And I'm going to give you a piece of advice that's not in the pattern, but this is just me telling you something. So if you're not following the video, you'll never know. So slip stitch the first 2, and then you're going to single crochet the remaining and stop on the 3rd stitch before the end. So you're like, well, what is your advice? I'm going to tell you to keep slip stitching on the other side just to see how it looks balanced. It doesn't say to do that, and I know from experience that it would probably look better if it was just done. So I've got to make sure I get both of those strands. I haven't really had a problem with this. It's a little hard on the hands because it's double stranding, but you know, by the time you've gotten here, you're almost done. We'll be going back to a single strand once we start doing those spots, or they call it dots. So I got 2 stitches left. So I'm in the 3rd last one. So what I would just do is just slip stitch and slip stitch the last 2. And it will look more balanced when you go to do this. And this is the end of your egg. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this so that we can see the right side of this facing up, and we're going to circle all the way around this thing. Now, my piece of advice for that, even though you kind of got corners here, you don't want to add any extra stitches. You're just going to follow the stitches around. So you'll follow it down the sides of the rows in the next round, and then the tops. So let's begin to do the final edging of your egg. So start with a slip knot on your hook. I'm going to tell you to start with an invisible, with a standing single crochet, and I'm going to have you finish it with an invisible join so that you don't see a slip stitch. Any loose ends, just toss it behind. I'm looking at the right side of the work. I can see it by my stitch marker. I'm not going to have you start on an edge. I'm going to have you come in about 2 in or 3. And what I want to do is when I come back around, I just want to naturally follow that. If I start there, it's not going to look natural. So with this already on the hook, I'm going to just yarn over and pull through. And then I'm going to pull through the 2 loops. And that's a standing single crochet. So when I come back around, this will be my last stitch here, and I'll join it with an invisible join, which will make it look seamless. So I'm going to toss the ends to the other side. And I'm just going to single crochet myself equally around. So tops and bottoms, you can see those ends of the rows, or sorry, you can see the foundation chain on this particular part, and when you get to the top of the egg, you'll see the tops of the stitches. But it's right when you turn here, you're going to have to just make sure you kind of follow it around, and this is going to even up those edges. So it looks kind of jagged at the moment, and this is going to pull things together. So I'm here. Okay, and just naturally just kind of follow it. So just kind of pull it down Try to always get 2 strands on top of your hook at all times. Okay, then you know it's been attached really well. Okay, so just go in the side of the posts when you're working on the sides. Noticing that I did not add any extra to make that curvature. The curve is so slight that it's a pretty good one. So just continue to go all the way around your egg. I'm making sure that I always have 2 strands being attached for extra security, and just look at it. So lay it down once in a while. If you're not sure it's going to be flat, you can give it a good stretch, but overall it should look pretty awesome. So circle around your egg and I'll be right back. So I've now come all the way around. The edges are actually nice and smooth. It's hard to believe, but it does happen. And so I've cut my yarn already. So I was working on this last night watching TV, and you just pull that out. So you can tell I have not connected because I want to do what is called as an invisible join. And so I'm going to try to shove both of these through, both of the strands through the same needle. Okay, I got one through. So the invisible join like this prevents a lump that occurs if you just slip stitch. So if that bothers you, there's always solutions, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do is take this needle, and on the first single crochet, I'm going to come from the back and go right as if I was going to stick my hook through, but come this way instead. And pull. And pull just enough that you can see that it's being pulled. And where this is coming out of, this stitch here, I want to go directly back into the middle of that stitch and to the back of the project. And when I pull this now, just see the distance of the stitches, just pull so it looks like it matches. Okay, just the same kind of distance. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it to the back side, and I'm just going to capture it. Okay, and I'm going to force it to go through the loop to kind of like tie it onto itself. And now I'm going to just stay on the back side now going forward, and I'm just going to just go deep enough that you don't see any needles on the front side, and just go back and forth a total of 3 times. Because I've locked it in this position here, it won't come out. So the first time you pull, just make sure you don't change the shape of your egg, and just come back through. And one more time. Okay, any loose ends, you're going to want to do that. Okay, so that's how you would do that. And so now you can reshape. So I got a little bit of a lump going on here. This is the starting strand. So I'm just going to pull that, and then I would secure that in later too. Okay, and so you end up with, instead of a lump coming out, you just end up with a kind of a flat round, and therefore this is good. I'm going to leave this here intact, the right side, and I'm going to show you now how to do the dino dots that are on the egg. So once you have this secured, like I did with the 3 times, you can just safely cut it down. So secure in all your loose ends on your egg, and I'll be back in a moment to show you how to do the dots of the egg. So this is the dino egg on the right side of the work. I can see my stitch marker, and now we're going to continue then to the dino dots. Now we're back here on the pattern, and now we're going to move on to the dino dots. There are 2 sizes. There's the big dot, the large dot they say, and then the small dot. So the small dot is the exact same pattern, but it ends earlier. So it says from the double asterisk to the double asterisk. The double asterisk is from the very beginning here to here. So the small dot stops on the 4th round, and then the big dot finishes on the 6th. So what I'm going to have you do, I'm only going to film it once, and on the 4th round if you want that. Now I'm almost done my dots already. I've still got more yarn left on my ball that I could make more dots if I felt like it. So that's something that you can decide. I am still continuing to use Bernat Blanket Brights in the color called School Bus Yellow. So let me show you how to do the large dot. We're going to reduce our hook to an 8mm now and just do one strand, and we'll make a dot together. So here are the two different sizes. It's amazing how just 2 rounds can change the size of it quite significantly. I want to use that invisible join like I showed you with the rest of the egg to finish it off to make this more seamless. And so you can see this is good, and you want to leave an extra long tail at the end so that you can go around and sew it to your egg. So these are the 2 sizes, and so in the video next part you can stop on the 4th round. After it's done you'll get this size, and if you continue to the 6th you'll get this size. So just because it shows you only 5 dots on the egg doesn't mean you only can have 5, because you're going to have more yarn left on your ball if you would like to add more. Completely up to you, and let's begin. So let's start off with a slip knot. Bernat Blanket is very forgiving, just in case you end up with extra stitches or you don't have enough. You know, it's really easy to hide mistakes with this yarn. It's kind of why I like it too. So we're going to start off, and we need to make an oval shape. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'm going to try to go as slowly as I can to show you how this is going to work. And we're going to work down the chain, turn around, and then come on the underside of the chain and form the first rotation. And let's do round number 1. Second chain from the hook. So this is the first, this is second. Get the back hump of the chain because I think it looks better. And you are going to place in 2 single crochets into the back hump. So we have 1 and 2. So 2 share the same one. The next 3 chains are each going to be a single crochet. So it's all single crochet. So we're going to go 1, 2, and 3. The last single crochet that's in the chain, you are going to apply 3 single crochets and just naturally turn the project upside down as you do it, or rotate it like a steering wheel. So just 1 single crochet, so you want 3. So 1, just naturally let it turn, 2, and 3. So now this is the underside of the chain. Okay, so leave that straggler out of the way. You can deal with that later. And this is your first stitch, then coming back, and you want to do 1 single crochet in the next 3. Okay, so I'm going to put the straggler down on top of that line and get it stuck underneath. So you got 1, 2, and 3. Now you would have noticed that when we started this, we only had 2 on the side, but there's 3 here. So the last stitch is going to go into where these 2 are coming out of, and it's right here. And so then that will give the equivalent of 3 on this side. And you're going to slip stitch to the top of the first single crochet. I know it's hard to see maybe on camera here. That's why this yarn is pretty forgiving, but you should end up right on the end here. If you've gone over the straggler like I have, just trim it out and ready for round number 2. Round number 2, right where you're sitting, chain 1. Right where it's sharing the same connection spot where you slip stitched. What the hell is that? So let's begin for round number 2. Right where you're sitting, where you did the connection, you're going to chain 1 and apply 2 single crochet into the first. So we have 1 and 2. The next one is 2 single crochets as well. So 1 and 2. The next 3 are going to be 1 single crochet each to get ourselves to the other side. So how did the yarn get to the other side? We crocheted it there. 2 and 3. So this side here, the first one is going to have 2 singles, the next one will have 3, and the next one will have 2. We started off with 2, but we're going to put an extra one in there to make it 3 on the edge there as well when we get back around. So the first one is 2 single crochet. So we have 1 and 2. The next one is going to have 3. So we have 1, 2, and 3. The next one is going to have 2. The next 3 in a row are each going to have 1 single crochet. So we have 1, 2, and 3. The next one is going to have 2 single crochet. So we have 1 and 2, and it looks like there's an extra stitch here, but that's not a stitch. But right where you want to just stick your last one, see where this one is coming out of here? This one is going to have right here 1 single crochet, and that's sharing the same as the first 2. And when you pull it around like that, that gapping space disappears, and you were going to slip stitch to the first single crochet right here. And that was round number 2. So you end up back on the same edge like that. And now let's move to round number 3. So right where we're sitting, we're going to chain 1, and you're going to put in 2 single crochet into the same stitch. The next one is going to be 2 single crochets as well. To get to the other side, we're now going to crochet the first 7 that you'll run into. So we'll count those together. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we're going to concentrate on the 3 ends. The first one is going to have 2 singles, 3, and 2. So we'll do the first one. So we got 1 and 2 share the same stitch. The end one is 3 single crochets there. So we have 1, 2, 3, and the next one has got 2. So 1 and 2. And now the next 7 in a row are each going to have a single. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we just have one more stitch that's empty, and we got to put an extra one in the beginning. So this next one is going to have 2 single crochets in it. And then the last one is going to go right where these 2 are in. So just right here. And join it to the top of the first single crochet. Just like that. And now we're moving on to round number 4. Round number 4 is the final size for the dot, for the small dot, and 6 is the big one. So as you start this one, you're going to chain 1 and put 2 single crochet into the same connection spot. So 1 and 2. And now what we're going to do is apply 2 single crochets into the next 2 stitches. Okay, so we got 1 and 2, so they're each going to have 2. So 1 and 2 is in the first. Next stitch is 1 and 2. And now the next 9 in a row is going to take us to the other side. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now this side here, going to concentrate on 5 stitches in a row. The first 2 will each be 2 single crochets each. So we got 1 and 2 is in the first. The next one is 1 and 2 is in the second of 5. This is the end, so this is going to be 3 single crochets in that one. So we got 1, 2, 3, and then the next 2 in a row each will have 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2 is in the next one, and 1 and 2 is in the next. And now we're going to do 9 in a row coming down the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We still have 2 stitches left on this side, and then the last one has to share. So the next 2 in a row is going to be 2 single crochet. The next and last one of the round is 2 single crochet, and then we have to put an extra one at the connection spot, like where these 2 are already in, and then join. So this here would be the ending of the small dot. Okay. Now, if you were ending it and you wanted that seamless join, what you would want to do is not connect it and just do up a loop, or just pull it through and do the connection spot like I did with the egg. But you want to leave a long enough tail that you will be able to secure this and sew this directly around the outside to your egg. Okay. So I'm going to keep moving to round number 5 and 6. So if this is a small dot, you're stopping, and if you're doing the larger dot, then let's keep on going. Round number 5 for the large dot. You're going to just chain up 1, and right where you've got the connection spot, you are going to apply 2 single crochet. So we have 1 and 2. The next one is going to be 1 single crochet, and then the next one after that is going to be 2 single crochet. So we have 1 and 2. So now we're going to go 13 stitches to the other side. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Once your 13 are in, 2 single crochets into the next. One single crochet into the one after that, and then 3 single crochets into the one after that. So we have 1, 2, 3. And now the next one has 1 into it, and then the next one has 2. So we have 1, 2. So what you're just going to do is then single crochet yourself all most of the way back, and it's a total count of 13. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. The next one will have 2 into the same one. So we have 1 and 2, and then 1 into the next. And what you're going to do is then just join it. So you're just going to pull it around and not join it, sorry. You're just going to put the last single crochet in the first one. If your stitch counts are off, no big deal. It's just dots. And then you can slip stitch it to the top of the first one. and therefore we would have this round done. So we're going to move on to your final round, number 6, in just a moment. Number 6 is the final round. Just chain up 1 and apply 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. Not hard, right? And I will see you at the end of the round in just a moment, and we'll connect it using the invisible join, and I'll be right back in a moment. So I'm all the way back around, and what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to cut this tail long enough that I can use to sew all the way around. And I've not joined it yet, so I'm just going to pull that through. To me, it would bother me to have a lump because of slip stitching. It's not incorrect, it's just not my jam. So what I'm going to do is grab my tapestry needle wherever I put it, and I am going to finish this invisible. And so we're going to come from the back side to the first stitch. And right where this one's coming out of, I want to go down and towards the back of the egg. Or sorry, the back of the dot. And the distance of this compared to here, I want to pull on it so that it matches. And so that's all I'm going to do with that. So what I'm going to do is just tie it so that it tangles onto itself. And then I'm going to leave the rest of the tail, and we're going to sew this to the egg using this tail. So now that's tied onto itself. It won't pull on it when you go to sew it. And I'm going to move on to showing you how to sew it. So you would need 2 big dots and 3 little dots, and you do have more yarn if you'd like to make more dots depending on your interest level. Let's begin to sew on the dot. So back here in the instructions, you can see the 5 dots here, the 2 big ones and the small. That's just an idea of where you could put it. You can decide what you would like to do on the positioning. And so what we're going to do is just go around the outside of the dot in order to make that happen. The way that I'm going to do it is going to be a surface sew, so the yarn does not go all the way through the rug, because you don't need to, because you got lots to work with. But even if it was a motif, I never go through a project like that. So when you turn over the egg, it should be completely empty, that you don't know that there's a dot on the other side. Let's begin. So with the right side facing up, I can see where the stitch marker is. I can look at the photograph and see where I want to position it, or you can do it any way that you would like to. And so what I'm going to do is that the first one that's coming out of the dot, I'm just going to grab around 2 loops. So this is not going through the project, it's just connecting here. And I want to come up and capture it in between the single crochets on the outside of the dot. So you can stretch it a bit if you want to. So then you're going to go back through the next single crochet, so here, and then you just kind of lean it forward and see how you want to position it here. So I'm just capturing enough of it so it captures in. Okay, and then back out. So if you feel more comfortable, you can always use a pins to hold it down, but in this case it's so thick it's not going to move on you. So just go down in between the single crochets and then connect it. So you would not want to use thread for something like this. Thread can be very sharp and it could act like a cutting of a knife. So you want to use the same yarn. So go around your dot, connecting in. So if you feel more ambitious, you can do it all in one step. Meaning, just kind of be flexible with it. So I'll see you at the end of the round as we secure. So I'm coming up near the end. So if you were submitting this to a county fair for judging, then you would really want this surface to be captured in, but not go all the way through the project in case the judge turns it over. So now that I'm done here, I'm just going to come up through the front and then back down. So I'm just going to try to lift it a little bit and capture it inside and let it tie onto itself. And now I'm going to push it to the inside, and I'm going to go about halfway across the egg, or sorry, across the dot. I keep calling it an egg because it looks like it. So coming across, it's out on the outside. You're not going to see this because it's going to blend, and just kind of capture it through some of the fibers going back. And then just a slightly different path one more time. Okay, and that's it. And so you'll want to do all your dots the same way in order to capture them in. If they are puffing out on you, you know, consider that like a tactile kind of sensory thing. You could always put stuffing in behind now that I said that, now that I'm saying that at the end. So you could always put stuffing behind and have them lift off, and therefore a baby could use that as a sensory thing as well. And when you turn it around, you do not see, you see parts of my floor, but you don't see where that dot is because it's just been applied to the surface. It's good to go. That's it for today, and we hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial, and let me know how you made out.